I'm obsessed with crab rangoons, and the first time I saw the mozzarella stick version on my feed from Wave Asian Bistro, I knew I had to have it. It had everything we know and love from a typical crab rangoon, but it's transformed into a mozzarella stick for even more crunchy and cheesy goodness. Now, Waves is all the way in Florida, and I'm on the complete opposite side of the country in Seattle, so instead of flying out there to try it, today we're gonna make it at home instead to see how it stacks up. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. Now the first thing we're going to do is get our crab rangoon mixture ready, starting off with 8 ounces of imitation crab. And you can use real crab if you're feeling bougie, but real crab typically gets lost in the sauce and it's just not worth it for me personally. But feel free to adapt this recipe to your own preferences. Now we'll cut up the imitation crab into bite-sized pieces and add that to a big mixing bowl. To that, we're going to add in 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and an equal amount of shredded mozzarella. And there's really no wrong amount here, so if you like yours extra cheesy, feel free to add more mozzarella. Then we'll add in a tablespoon of melted butter for some extra richness, a splash of soy sauce for some umami, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now my secret ingredient for this recipe is a tablespoon of condensed milk, which will add some sweetness but a little bit of moisture into our mixture too. We're gonna mix this up with a fork, and while you're mixing, make sure you shred up the imitation crab too so that it's evenly distributed in the mixture. Now when it's mostly combined, I'm gonna chop up some green onions, and we'll add in 2 stalks of it into the mixture for a pop of color and health, and the other half will save as a garnish. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Now to a 8x8 square pan or glass container, we're going to lay down a piece of parchment paper and transfer the crab rangoon mixture onto it. We're going to press it down to form a smooth and even layer, and I like placing another piece of parchment paper right on top and pressing it down so that I can get it nice and flat. Now this is going into the freezer to vibe out for about an hour so that it can firm up, making it easier to cut into equal pieces. Now after an hour and once our mixture has set, we're going to cut them into 18 even pieces, but if you want some extra thick ones, feel free to cut it to the size of your choice. Once the crab rangoon sticks are all cut, we're going to be dredging them in a pretty standard mix of all-purpose flour, beaten eggs, and panko. First, we'll add the sticks into the AP flour, making sure that it coats every side. And then it'll go into the beaten eggs, and the pro tip here is to use one hand for the dry parts and the other hand for the eggs so that your hands don't get all clumpy. Now with the panko, you're going to want to make sure that you really pack it in there so that there are no exposed bits to ensure that there's no cheese leakage. We'll repeat this process with all of our crab rangoon sticks, and then we'll get them onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper and back into the freezer for another 15 minutes to allow the coating to set so that it doesn't immediately fall off in the fryer. Now to a pot or a deep fryer, we're going to heat up enough oil to fully submerge the sticks to 370 degrees Fahrenheit. These crab rangoon mozzarella sticks cook up super quick, only needing between 2 to 3 minutes until they're golden brown and crispy on all sides. Once they're all cooked through, we'll remove them from the oil and let them drain on a wire rack or a paper towel lined plate. And then it's time to plate. We're going to get our beautiful crab rangoon sticks onto our serving dish and then garnish them with some more green onions to make it pop. We'll serve this with a side of sweet garlic chili sauce, and just like that, you've made the most incredible crab rangoon mozzarella sticks at home. And I gotta say, these really are incredible. I was honestly skeptical if I would like them more than crab rangoons, but it's everything I dreamed of and more. The panko gives it a super crunchy texture, while the mozzarella cheese makes it so gooey. So if you love crab rangoons, you're gonna love these even more. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section, are you team old school crab rangoons or new school mozzarella sticks? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.